Hello, and welcome to a channel that is not the Slingshot channel. Today I have something a little different from what I normally do. A couple months ago, a jolly German fellow by the name of Jörg Sprave showed off an M10 hex nut pump-action slingshot rifle. If you haven't seen it already, I highly recommend it. I'll put a fancy YouTube annotation here. Anyways, I've always thought to myself, man, Jörg's toys are really cool. I wish I could play with one of those, so I built one. And this is the result. It is a modified M10 slingshot chambered for American ammunition. I made a couple of other modifications to Jörg's design. The biggest change I made was swapping the position of the magazine tube with the barrel. Jörg's original design was gravity fed, which means the nuts came from the magazine tube on top and fell into the chamber. I thought that reversing the design would be good because when you're aiming, it puts your line of sight closer to the barrel. And this is important if, say, you're lining up a crucial headshot on a zombie. With this design change, however, I needed to modify the design to chamber hex nuts without gravity. My solution was to use a slide lever combination to chamber hex nuts. I showed off this mechanism in a construction montage I released last week. I'll put the link in the description below or an annotation over here. I also chose to use bolts instead of screws to hold this thing together since I was taking this thing apart a lot. Screws tend to strip and damage the plywood, and because I was taking this thing apart so many times to make adjustments, bolts just worked out better. I added a stock to make it easier to cock and aim the slingshot. That shouldn't have come up. Well, I guess I might as well fire the thing. I considered making the stock adjustable, but that would have cost me a lot of time to work out. As it is, this took me a week and a half to build. Since I live in America, I gave brief consideration to the gun laws in our country. This stick, when inserted into the magazine, restricts the capacity of the weapon to 15 rounds. To make the P50 ready to fire, you simply draw back the bands. Sights optional, and you manually chamber a round. Round is chambered. And while I'm here, I might as well explain the sights. I have flat iron wood sights, and these are good for point blank range up to about 15 feet. And then for 20 feet and beyond, I have a raised sight to account for the bullet drop of the nut. I haven't yet modified the pump to chamber around in one single action, but it's a pretty easy fix, and maybe I'll make the change eventually. I don't know, I kind of like manually chambering around. So, let's see how this thing performs. Shall we? That's better. Sometimes the bands jump the little notch I cut into the pump. I'll fix that with an extra piece of wood on top. Here's a close-up of the target after shooting a couple of rounds. Although my nuts are bigger than Jörg's, I don't get as much penetration due to the large surface area of my projectile. Doing a frame-by-frame analysis using this lighter band set, I calculated the speed of the nut leaving the barrel to be about 120 feet per second. Now that's less than half the speed of a regulation paintball marker, but keep in mind that the ammo is 5 times as heavy as a paintball, so I'll let you decide which you would rather be hit by. I have some ideas for future improvements to this weapon, like a removable magazine, or making a CAD file of the part so I can send it to a laser cutting company for rapid prototyping. But those might have to wait because I have another slingshot project I want to get to first. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, YouTube, and I'll see you next time. This is too much fun. Mouth closed. Okay. Good? Nice. I'm ready. That is a really tough plastic. Holy shit. Thank you.